Hello, and welcome to my public lecture review. I'm Robert Pegg, and the lecture I watched is called When Will We Find ET and What Happens When We Do, or If We Do. So, what didn't I know from the lecture? What I didn't know was that we prioritize looking for dumb life as opposed to intelligent life. I really associated the search for intelligent life with those big satellite dishes listening for radio signals, and with that comes that there's something on the other side. But of course, in the lecture, he talked all about how we are looking at atmospheres and looking for any signs of microbial life, which of course makes sense, but I just associated it with the satellites instead. I also learned that we look for where to look for life, which is a bit of a tongue twister, but that's what Curiosity does on Mars, which I did not know beforehand. I also did not know about the canals on Mars, which I thought was pretty interesting. I also knew that computing power does increase faster than like the power of a biological brain, but I didn't think about the concept of most of the extraterrestrials being robotic as opposed to biological. And so that's what I didn't know. What all did I know? I knew about Drake. I knew about his equation that was written on the board. I also knew that about Moore's law, which talks about how fast computing power increases. That relates to my area of study, computer science, so I knew about that. And I also knew about methane being a sign of life and how that's useful, how that comes into play during the search. So, what sparked my interest? A lot of things sparked my interest. It was a very interesting lecture. I thought it was interesting how he talked about how 96% of the people he works with are looking for dumb life as opposed to intelligent life. I guess looking for intelligent life, they can just have computers automatically go through the haystack, as he calls it, and just listen to tons of radio signals at once. As he showed in that graph, we can listen to millions of channels at the same time, which is very interesting. Um, Something else that I found interesting, or just clever, I guess, is that we look for where to look for life, as I mentioned before. That's just an interesting concept that we have curiosity digging around to find a place to invest more money into to go look at more extensively. Something else that I found interesting was the graph he showed about brain volume of our ancestors and how much it's gone up. Then he showed like the faces progressively getting bigger and the eyes getting bigger. I thought that was just funny. And I also thought it was cool how much our brains have gotten bigger. Um, I also thought it was interesting how he sort of critiqued how we extrapolate so much on how extraterrestrials will be, how we try and put human ideas onto them and their biology and technology and what their planet is like. Most likely they'll be very different, and if we do come across extraterrestrials in our lifetime, it will probably be microbial, which is less interesting, but is still an incredible revolution. So yeah, that's what sparked my interest. How does this topic relate to my area of study? It relates a lot because computer science and space travel are just inherently connected. And when the place that he works at, SETI, and all the stuff that they use is really based in radio signals and being able to look out deep into the solar system, which is based on optics and things like that and telescopes, but also it's connected to computer science, such as like making the rover, programming the rover, being able to scan all those radio signals at one time. It's very connected to computer science. And did I follow up? So far, I have not because I'm recording this immediately after watching the lecture, but I found it very interesting, and I will probably try and find more lectures by the same person because they were a good speaker. And also, I found the topic very interesting, especially when it came to the ancestor simulation hypothesis by that guy. Found that to be a very interesting combination of things I'd heard about before. So yeah, I will probably follow up in the future, but I have not so far.